Birds may look harmless from a distance, but when they decide to attack, things can change in seconds. Today, we're counting down 12 of the most shocking bird attacks caught on camera. Stay until the end, because every clip has an unexpected turn, and the final one may surprise you the most. Seagulls are notorious opportunistic feeders. If something looks edible and seems small enough to swallow, they will often try their luck. And sometimes their idea of a small enough meal is far more extreme than anyone would expect. This gull seems to have picked a meal far too large to handle, but instead of tearing the rabbit apart, it begins swallowing the entire animal whole.
Caught a rabbit. Leave the rabbit alone, man.
Gulls have a surprisingly flexible throat and esophagus, which allows them to consume prey much larger than most people would expect. And within less than a minute, almost nothing is left outside. On Stockholm Island, rabbits may seem like unlikely prey for a seabird. But for great black-backed gulls, they can become an important source of food. As breeding season approaches, competition becomes intense, with adults fighting over every successful catch to feed themselves and their mates. But the most surprising part comes after the fight. The winner doesn't tear its meal apart. Thanks to its flexible throat and powerful digestive system, this enormous gull can swallow an entire rabbit whole. Pelicans may look harmless, but this hungry bird was about to reveal a side few visitors expected.
Et les pensionnaires s'impatientent. Pas trop faim. Oui.
Oh mon Dieu!
Il engloutit dedans.
Pelicans normally use their enormous bills to scoop up fish, but they are opportunistic feeders and have occasionally been recorded eating other birds. What looked like a quick meal turned into a 20-minute struggle before the pelican finally managed to swallow the pigeon completely.
Oh my God.
Un dernier coup de gosier et ce pélican démontre que si les oiseaux...
This pelican seems to have caught a fish far too large to swallow. The catfish struggles so violently that its entire body can be seen moving through the bird's stretched pouch. A pelican's pouch is not only used to store food, it works like a flexible fishing net, allowing the bird to drain the water and reposition its catch before swallowing.
I think that catfish is dead, eh?
After several careful adjustments, the pelican finally lines up the fish and sends it down whole.
How's that for a breakfast? Well done, chap. That was a cool...
Most people think of gulls as birds that steal food from beaches, but this one had something very different on the menu. After catching a small squirrel, the gull began swallowing it whole, stretching its flexible throat until the entire animal disappeared from view. Gulls are opportunistic feeders, which means they can take advantage of surprisingly diverse food sources when the opportunity appears. And while another squirrel watched cautiously from nearby, the gull was already looking around for what might come next. This gull seemed to be struggling with a rabbit far too large to handle, but instead of tearing it apart, the bird had a much more surprising plan. After several careful adjustments, the entire rabbit disappeared in just a few gulps. Moments later, the gull simply flew away, as if swallowing a meal that size was nothing unusual. This white egret had already caught its meal, but swallowing it was the tricky part. Instead of eating immediately, the bird repeatedly repositioned the mouse until its head was pointing toward the throat. Egrets often swallow prey whole, and lining it up head first can make the process much easier. For a bird that looks so elegant, its feeding technique is surprisingly efficient. This great blue heron appears to be simply walking across the grass, but it is actually searching for something hidden beneath the ground. The bird waits almost motionless beside a burrow until a Bata's pocket gopher finally appears. Great blue herons are famous for catching fish, but their diet is far more surprising than most people realize. Small mammals are also on the menu, and once the prey is subdued, the heron can swallow it whole. Black skimmers may live together in large colonies, but that does not mean they welcome every visitor. Around the nest, adults can become highly territorial, defending even a small patch of sand from anything that comes too close. At first, it looks like these adult black skimmers are attacking their own chicks for no reason, but there is more happening inside this crowded colony than it seems. Young skimmers begin wandering away from their nests only days after hatching, while adult males fiercely guard the small territory around their own nesting sites. A chick that crosses the wrong boundary can suddenly be treated like an intruder. For this weakened youngster, every attempt to find safety leads it past another defensive adult. And even after repeated attacks, it keeps struggling forward. Seagulls are usually associated with fish and scraps, but this one had found a whole squirrel. Instead of tearing it apart, the bird began swallowing it whole, slowly working the prey down its throat until even the tail disappeared. What looks almost impossible to us is simply another example of how adaptable these birds can be when food is available. This pelican seemed to be simply swimming past a family of ducks. But as it moved closer, the adult ducks quickly gathered around their young. What happened next surprised everyone watching.
You got fries, yeah. Look at the fries.
Oh, look at the little duckling.
What looked like a peaceful moment by the water had suddenly revealed a surprising side of one of nature's most familiar birds.
No ways.
Look.
That's all for today's video. Which moment surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more incredible wildlife encounters caught on camera. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next incredible video.